Hello and welcome back to the Retail Journey Podcast. I'm Charles Greathouse.
And I'm James Harris. And today we're talking to Andrew Mull, head of sales for the sporting goods and toy company Flybar. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you. How's it going, guys?
Going really well. I've been looking forward to this conversation, as you know, for my 4 or 5 months of trying to find a time where it worked, and now it's working.
Heck yeah, I'm glad to be here.
You're our first remote podcast, so this is exciting.
Welcome.
I always like to put a spin on things for you there.
Yeah, it feels like we're back in 2020, trying something new. It's different, but I'm into it.
Except we're not in our pajamas this time.
Yeah, got real pants on today.
Yeah.
That's great.
Fully clothed.
Well, Andrew, I've gotten to know you over the last few years, and you've got one of the most fascinating retail stories. Not to diminish the life story, which is pretty fascinating too, but the where you started, what you've done, how you've pivoted. I'm really excited to dig into that. You want to maybe start out with your background? How'd you get into retail at all?
Yeah, sure. So both my parents worked at Meijer in Michigan, where I grew up. Lived in Michigan for 21 years of my life. So always was a part of retail. Mom and dad had me in the offices a lot. So just kind of like embedded in my blood, I guess. And through high school was, always out doing fun stuff, never really cared about school. And that really stayed true through college.
All right. Consistency.
Yeah, exactly. I was very consistent with that. And led that life and didn't know what to do, didn't know, what I wanted to do, where to go, anything. So actually moved to New York City. My dad had moved there, but I moved for an opportunity to work at United Legwear company, hosiery, socks. They did Puma, Airwalk, a bunch of other brands. Now they're massive now. So I had the opportunity. I was, it was 2007 when I moved there. I was like 21 years old, so perfect time to be in Manhattan. And I learned everything about retail and wholesale. And that's basically where the guts of everything that I learned, foundation that I built and stand on, and the ethics that were instilled. And Isaac Ash, the owner of that company, was the best, and it still is, one of the best mentors I've ever had. That led me to California for a while. Just working random wholesale jobs and things like that. And through that baby company, my dad had done something over in New York again, and I decided to move back. So I'm just moving back and forth again, just not knowing what I want to do.
Coast to coast.
Yeah. Living the fun life, if you will. And then when I moved back to New York, New Jersey, my wife now at the time, girlfriend, fiance, we decided that we were going to do New Jersey for a while, built a little business with my father, ended up doing our own thing, my wife and I. We started a baby company, and that baby company was based off of rattle socks. We saw a void in baby. We were having a child, our first, and we were, just indulged in everything baby, and we saw rattle socks, like what a cool thing it would be. So we built a company on that.
So socks that rattle.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And basically,
like
man, any format you can think of: golf, space, football, aliens. I mean, we went to the extreme with it. And we got it in Nordstrom. It was a very high end brand, if you will. 2 pair of socks in a beautiful gift box. We wanted it to be very premium. So we were in, 1,000 mom and pop stores through internationally. And then over 5 years, this was built that company up, and our inflatable ride-on is what we got noticed for by the buyer at the time at Walmart. And he brought me in and loved it. And from there on, Walmart was my life. I knew at that point, I wanted to figure out Walmart in the biggest way possible. And that was the goal. And that basically led me to my next adventure with Flybar.
So
how I am now.
You said that's what made the buyer notice you. So the merchant reached out to you?
Yeah, so it was I had been pitching for a while, showing this product and really getting no attention. Probably not the right person at the right time. And then
Right.
and I had seen that there was some competition out there, and we had started, we had started this product line ourselves and really had a lot of passion into it and creativity. So that buyer saw that, like, so they saw the uniqueness in us. So it was basically, how do we bring a very, specialty mom and pop brand at, a higher retail to mass. And that was the challenge, and trying not to hurt, what I've built in a sense, with my hosiery line, socks and other accessories. So that item though took us to the next level, and we figured out how to do it.
That's really cool.
That's awesome. So you
Yeah.
went coast to coast to coast, maybe a couple times. You started in the middle, and then you've landed in the middle.
Yeah. So we started, like I said, my wife and I grew up in Michigan. We moved to I moved to New York first, and then we moved to California together, back to New Jersey together, back to California together, and now we are in Arkansas, hopefully for a while.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's not a bad place to be.
Well,
No,
and
it's been
Walmart,
great so far.
Walmart's it's an awesome place to get to build, business. It's an awesome culture here in Northwest Arkansas. I've never spent a ton of time around Meijer, but as a merchant, had a ton of admiration for how Meijer operated. It kind of feels like there's quite a few analogies between, how
not dissimilar.
You grew up with sort of Meijer background and then getting here into the Walmart world.
Yeah, definitely. There's that. It's a lot of the same culture, honestly, like living in Centerton, Bentonville area, right? You get that like nostalgic vibe of, Sam Walton. And that was very much so in Grand Rapids, Michigan with Fred and Lena Meijer. They were very connected to the company. Their kids, still are to this day. And, they've built a great business around it, great, format, and they did it well. And it definitely is a retailer to look at, and they've done it well. And
yeah,
it's definitely helped me through the years look at things differently, for sure.
And a lot of folks are try to sell something to Walmart, hit that no response, no interest, which it sounds like you hit, and you kept hitting it, and then you persevered. I mean, can you talk to us about the mental state there? It's your wife and you, your company, your baby, all the puns intended, and then pursuing Walmart, not necessarily getting it, and then eventually getting into Walmart. Tell us about it.
Yes. So it was tough, like that first one is like it's, I had some experience with mass coming from New York, but I had focused on specialty, and that's where we had built the business. So, getting into that mindset again, you have to put that hat back on. So, it's persistence, honestly. I think that persistence really is the biggest one that I've found, and timing, is it early in the morning? Is it on a Monday? Is it on a Tuesday, or Wednesday? Kind of learning the pattern and schedule. And that's what literally we dissected it. We found that we were getting responses on Tuesdays versus Mondays, and vice versa. And we played it. And we even did the attempt of, hey, literally we flew there. We're here for other appointments,
so much.
that whole game. Right. And
is it not today?
It worked out once. It didn't work out. It didn't work out one time. It worked out once. So, but different tactics. But I personally believe persistence, like honestly persistence in just making sure that you're offering the best, keeping it short and simple and sweet. Don't give them a novel like that. That's what I've learned, especially with this is short, sweet, bullet, like to the point.
Bullet points. Come on.
Don't have time, man. Everyone's busy.
For sure. So. Well, and you didn't just persevere with another email or phone call selling the same thing that didn't get their interest the last time. You persevered with innovation, and that got the result.
Yeah. There was there was competition on the floor, and we showcased that we were better. We could do it at, equally or better price, and better packaging, better visual. And the buyer at the time believed in it. And, we proved it. And, through that path is what got Flybar to recognize, my little company Waddle, if you will. And and yeah, to that next level is where it went.
Yeah. What advice would you give to yourself, you and your wife, the early stage entrepreneur pursuing white space with a massive retailer? What's the advice you give, knowing what you know now?
Knowing what I know now, the best advice would be it takes time. And you have to understand, you have to mentally consume it, that it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight, and an email may not come in and a phone call may not happen, but you just have to keep believing that like it's going to happen. You will get through at some point in time. Someone will respond, which I believe Walmart, hands down, through my experiences, is one of the best retailers in responding eventually, whether that's, immediately or not. Well, everyone's different, but it's don't give up, and literally, don't read into it. Just keep pushing.
Yeah, there's a human on the other side of that email or phone call that might have a few things going on. So that take us into current day. You started at a single item in Walmart, other items elsewhere. You got a little bit different portfolio that you manage sales for now.
Yeah. So Flybar, amazing company, amazing owner, Saul Hendler. He acquired Flybar, original pogo stick company. So the company was built on pogo sticks. It's
Awesome.
a 100-year-old company itself. Saul's been running it for the last 7-8 years, I believe. And through that time, it was, pogo stick and innovation and so on and so forth. But Saul likes to travel. Saul is always looking for the next thing, and he was in China and saw some production being run of the animal hoppers that were headed into Walmart. And he said he was blown away that a small supplier like myself had gotten into Walmart. So we had one of his members of the team reach out to me, and when I first got the call, didn't really think much of it, and months later we ended up connecting. But that's how he had found me. And then next steps, was he wanted to bring me on board. Like, he acquire, what does that look like? Certain different situations. So we started that adventure.
That's really cool. And what the thing I admire most about Flybar as an organization is pogo sticks are iconic toy, like such a cool toy.
Yeah.
But a lot of times companies can get stuck in the thing that used to be cool, that it still is, but it isn't quite the cultural phenomenon it once was. But you all are now in quite a few new categories, both sporting goods and toys, that are really cool. And so how has that I'm sure at some point after Saul, came into the business, that there had to be some transformation to take place to even be able to pursue innovation outside of what you've been doing.
Sure. Yeah. So Saul was big on finding, companies to acquire to kind of build the foundation, which, in hindsight is an amazing idea. Right. And it worked to his favor. With this, he had, Swerfer, which is an outdoor brand, a really premium line of swings and different types of swerf in the air. So surfing in the air type of deal. That was Saul's first company. Then came Waddle, my company, and then after that was a few other brands and licensing in between, and so all of those things kind of compiled, and in turn we expanded the portfolio. So how do you complement the pogo stick? And it was masters of bounce. We want to be the masters of bounce, because pogo stick, you bounce, hoppers you're bouncing on. So we identified all the items that would fit into our world that made sense, and started to establish business around that. Flybar did a great job of establishing an item on Amazon. It was pogo hopper, and the thing has a bazillion reviews. I mean, it is literally it's crazy. It has so many reviews. And that we got it into Walmart by using the reviews of that. So it's just different product lines we've been able to get into, and it's been super fun, and that's led now from sporting goods all the way down to the RC. So it's a different product every day, I believe, at Flybar. There's nothing we won't look at. but we try to focus more on the outdoor sporting and powered ride on foot to floor items, if you will.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I know several merchants that got to start their careers in the space like this. My first buying desk, I got to buy adult incontinence. Just a different experience I got to lead. I've friends that were buying video games, getting to play games, getting to play with toys, and I'm just helping America not leak so much. And it's a very different.
If you need the product, you're grateful for it.
I mean,
sure.
you can just about get passionate about anything when you buy into what Walmart stands for, helping people save money and live better. Like there's a significant amount of living better that goes on because of that category and what it means. But you seem to have found yourself in areas that are really fun, and you get you're like masters of bounce. Like what an awesome let's go look for things that are gonna make you bounce, gonna have fun. I mean, even like behind you, we've got Bowser. We've got a couple of really cool things going on. I don't know. It just seems like you found yourself in a situation to get to have fun and then bring fun to life. As a career, like, what advice do you have to the kids out there that are thinking their options are,
Right. I mean, I definitely have found my fun spot, right, if you will. I'm a kid at heart. I'm a huge toy collector, in a sense, love Lego. So, it's the interest is what drove me. I love, when it was always the interest, right? Like we were having kids and it was baby and we were so indulged in it and, created amazing products because you live it, you're experiencing it in the moment, what's working, what's not working, what should happen, so on and so forth. So, it's been a cool, journey through finding, the home, right? What's my retail home or supplier home? And I was lucky enough to kind of spin off baby into toy, and then a toy company found me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
get to grow with your kids too.
Right.
Yeah, like go after it. Like I think if I would have had more guidance through retail or, in today's world, social media, back 10, 15 years ago, like, you didn't know anything about
trade
anything.
magazines
like,
at best.
Yeah. So like, I would say go for it. Cause like, you can do it, right? Like if you want to work for Hasbro, if you want to work for Mattel, if you want to work for MGA, you want to, do something at a smaller level, Disney licensing, you can do it. Like there's opportunities, there's ways to do it. You just have to put the work in. Like that's what's up. Like, I think that would be my biggest thing is put the work in. It's worth it. It pays off. It's hard, but man, like if you don't put the work in, it's not going to happen. So you got to believe in it, put that work in and stuff will start to happen.
I feel like that same advice applies to merchants. There's some things where it's like, hey, the category is where it is and it's going where it's going. And well, if you put the work in, you can really change trajectory. You can bring excitement.
Maybe not overnight, but
and it's not going to be, for sure, not overnight. And there's going to be many no's along the way of like, nope, can't do that. Or you're going to have to say no to things that just don't fit in the strategy. But actually going for it, I feel like I don't think I've ever regretted going for it. You either learn a ton about why it wasn't right.
Yeah, like don't let the no's deter you. Like let them encourage you. Like that's how I looked at it. Like when I was told no, it was like, all right, cool. That's another challenge. So how do we change that? But yeah.
So you have a unique experience of having been a co-owner of a brand, doing business at Walmart, but being the face of the company to Walmart. That was a small business. Now you're the face of a much larger business to Walmart. How do the two compare in terms of working with Walmart, small and much larger?
Both really stressful, I would say. Honestly, I think in my mind personally, less stress because I work for someone. I don't work for myself. And I think that's the biggest thing. I was thrown into ownership in a sense. I didn't want ownership. I didn't want to run a company and financials and profit and loss and balance sheet. That's not me. Like I hated it. And that's where really Flybar complements, because Saul is that. He loves that stuff. So that was never my world. That was the hardest part, is managing people, managing money, plus trying to figure it all out, right? Like you're running your company, and then you're also like trying to figure out how to get product and sell, and merchandise, market, blah blah blah. Working for Flybar, it's a whole new set of challenges, right? Like it's responsibilities, being accountable, performance, making sure there's numbers to hit, maintaining and building relationships in an environment that's ever changing. Like making sure that how do you do that the best way, and not lose your footing. So it's just a lot of different types of challenges, I would say, equally are stressful. I don't know if one's better than the other. I personally like the Flybar side, just because, yeah, I never want to manage money. I was never interested in it. So I like talking to people and, figuring out things, products, merchandising. That's what I love.
Yeah, you mentioned working for Saul, and I've been in the room with both of you, and seeing the way you work together and complement one another is really it's really pretty powerful. But you also are both focused on product development. That's kind of the place where you're both involved, and then you've got is that correct?
Yeah. So like Saul, I should say I'm involved in product development because I put myself there. I probably couldn't.
You weren't invited.
Right. And it's the same with Saul, and to a certain degree. We're both we're our own worst enemies. That's what I love about Saul, is like he loves product, and so do I. And that's where him and I just like, it's explosive when we're together, find a new thing or fun, or go on a tangent over something crazy. It's always super exciting and energetic with Saul on that front. So yeah, we would definitely share the passion for product. But they like to keep us out of there in certain times, because we tend to add a lot more work.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got to pick what's going to win.
Yeah, I've heard at least bits of a story about taking something from concept to reality in short periods of time. You probably have a couple examples, but tell us about the journey, when the retail journey ends up getting really short, and it's time to execute.
Yeah, so it's always fun when something like that happens, or it's an opportunity, right? And we had been monitoring an item, a bumper car, a 6-volt, that had been in the market, and Walmart had their eyes on it. Everyone really did at the time. And we were challenged with getting the item in store in an insane short period of time. It was basically about a 4-month period, 3 to 4 months at most. Once we got the details and started running, like that's what we were going into production almost like immediately. So it was fun. It was awesome. It was very stressful. There's a lot of things you got to get done on the Walmart side to make sure that the item can flow through the process. And there's a lot that needs to be done, on the supplier side, where, we have to check all of our boxes and make sure that, this product can roll and do all the things it needs to do compliantly. And it was a challenge, but we accomplished it. And what it did is it took an open stock item that was on the market, and that business and that quick reaction and that quick speed to market got us the opportunity to develop a very unique bumper car that only Walmart has. It's exclusive to them, the silhouette of it. And we based it off of a retro vibe with a modern twist. And it's been a hit, and we've grown substantially. It's an amazing item. It's really, I like to look at it as a ride-on that never existed for the market, really.
Right.
Back when my kids were 3 and 1 and now they're 7 and 10, like they rode the mini quads and the 4-6 volts that are for outside, really. They have no turn radius. Well, a bumper car has a full 360 turn radius. So we've brought an item to the market. That would not bring them to the market. We've provided the item a bra, basically everyone has access to it, to an item that they can fit in their home and use every day and bring it outside and still have fun. It's universal. It can navigate, the hallways. It can navigate the living room space. It can run into furniture and not hurt it. It's got bumpers. So it's really just a super universal in-home product that resonates very well with the 1 to 4 age group. So it was a hit, and Flybar executed it well, and we've been doing great with it, and it continues to be a very strong item.
I believe I had a conversation with you maybe a year or so ago, and I think I asked you something about your process for product innovation, and I don't recall exactly what you said, but we're looking to create joy. Do you remember that?
Yeah. So we putting smiles on kids' faces. Like that's what we want. We want to bring them the smiles. Like if you're not smiling when you get a Flybar product, then we didn't accomplish, or we didn't do our job right. So every product that leaves our building, we want smiles.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Well, all right. I think it's time for our lightning round. Just a handful of questions that we ask most people that are on here. First one, we like to lean into failure, or at least to do so quickly and learn from it. So, what's your biggest retail fail that you're willing to share?
Oh, sure. UPCs. That good old check digit, man. If you don't know your UPC, there you go. That's fun. There's a useful tip to anyone out there. Make sure you know your UPCs. That was a very, very novice error.
That's a mistake you make one time.
Oh, man. You do, right? And then you never do it again. And we did. It was fixable, thank God. But it was terrifying when you walk into the store and you grab your item first time ever in Walmart. Ever. You're walking up, and I just wanted to see it say pink unicorn, right? $14.99. And it said nothing.
Not on fire.
And I called my good friend at the time, and I was like, what does this mean? And he said, you are screwed.
It means not good.
Thank God the buyer was very awesome. We got it all fixed. And
that's great.
It was a great learning experience. But UPC.
It hurts. There's a bunch of, there are others out there that have experienced this pain. And there's some things you can't learn until you're in store. That's one you can check beforehand.
I've experienced that my heart rate has changed and I'm sweating from the time I did it 12 years ago or whatever.
Terrifying.
Maybe more recent, biggest learning from 2023.
Biggest learning from 2023. Follow up quicker.
Yeah.
I think time is going by too quick. I think there's opportunities being missed by the day with the speed of everyone's movement and how social media and everything works. Like the trends go fast and everything happens fast, and you got to move quick. Like that is my biggest thing. Move fast.
Yeah. And what are you most excited about for this year?
Most excited is glow. LED glow, like look Flybar, you'll see it. We've got some fun stuff, but LED is a big part of our future in the product lineup. So we're super excited about that one.
It makes everything better.
Yeah.
Add light.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's lit. You're welcome.
Literally.
Literally. Awesome. Books or content, like what's on your listening or reading list?
Man, I am a non-reader, which is terrible. My wife does that all for me. Well, enough for both of us, I should say.
That's right.
I'm a Chris Brown guy, like, which is really crazy to say because I'm 38 and I feel like that's very juvenile. But I'm a R&B rap guy at heart, right? But yeah, that's Andrew.
That's awesome. Well, man, I appreciate you doing this so much. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And I appreciate everybody for listening to The Retail Journey. We invite you to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. And you can find all of our episodes on highimpactanalytics.com.